Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to visit with a YouTuber named Brittany. The name of her channel is She Is Loved, and she's going to give us some consistent tips on staying consistent. Tell me what you guys think in the comments.
If you couldn't tell, I mean business. If you still can't tell, I mean business. Hi everybody, it's your girl Brittany, also known as She Is Loved. Welcome back to my channel. I will teach you the first step to success. Consistency. So if you're looking to get the cheat code on how to stay consistent, whether it's to lose weight, to start a business, or whatever your goal is, you need to master consistency first. Without really digging into the core of how to master consistency, we will fail. Number one, create small goals. Now you want to create these small goals because they're more attainable. The biggest goal I have is I want to be toned. I want to look like this girl. I want to look like this girl. So it's like, in order for me to look like that, it's not going to happen overnight. I try to create small goals, even if it's just, finish a jug of water every day. Start small. Give yourself something that you can actually accomplish.
So real quick, that's the number one thing I preach too. You got to be able to do baby steps. And the best way to do that is to start off with some small goals. If your goal is to start a walking routine, you can start that with as small as a little 10 or 15-minute walk first thing in the morning.
These smaller goals, you'll start to realize that you're getting closer and closer and closer to the bigger goal. So I plan on losing a certain amount of pounds. I plan on going to the gym a certain amount of days in a span of 3 months just to see where I'm at and to see if I can stay consistent. Second tip is, which is the biggest cheat code of them all, never say you're starting over. For the past 2 weeks, I have not been going to the gym as much as I wanted to, right? I had a goal of going 4 times a week and I was going 3 times the last 2 weeks. So instead of telling myself, oh, this week I'm starting over, this week is day one, hell no. I've been to the gym plenty of times. I've been consistent this entire time. Why am I going to tell myself that I'm starting over? Do you know how discouraging that sounds? Do you know how discouraging that sounds to tell myself, okay, you're starting from day one again. I'm not on day one, baby. I'm just getting back in motion. Just keep going. That's the thing with consistency. Keep going. But as humans, sometimes we just don't feel like it. That's okay. Don't say that you're starting over. You're just continuing. You're being consistent. You're staying dedicated. And that's going to get you so much closer to your goals. That's going to get you so much closer to the finish line because you're not bringing yourself back to the beginning. That's a mind thing. What happened? What did you do? You ate pizza over the weekend? So what? Now you got to start over because you told yourself you're not going to have carbs? No. Number 3, patience. Okay, have patience. The problem with staying consistent is that people want to see results immediately. We are so impatient. It's like we want things ASAP. We want them now. So, sometimes we get in the gym and by like month 2, we're like, first of all, what is going on? I still look the same. You feel different. You can't deny that. Oh my goodness, don't tell me my eyelash was like this the whole freaking time.
So while she's messing with her eyelash, let's go over that because I think that's a very important rule of diet and weight loss too. More than likely, you're not going to lose much of anything your first month or two. So my thinking is whenever you go into a routine, just tell yourself that right off the bat. More than likely for the next month or two, I'm not going to have super duper amounts of weight loss. And that'll set you up for success.
Having patience is super important. I know that when we start our weight loss journey, you know how many times you can go on YouTube and look up how to lose 30 pounds, how to lose 20 pounds. And you know how many videos you'll find that will tell you how you can lose all this weight in about a week? They can teach you how to lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm tired of the lies. It's a lie. It's a scam. And you're probably going to gain double that weight back because however you did that, it was not safe and it was not the healthiest way. Just make sure you're doing things the right way. Make sure you're not taking pills or drinking these teas that supposedly cause you to lose weight. That unless you can sustain that lifestyle, unless you can keep doing what you're doing, it's not going to last. It's not a rush. You're not in a race. If you start now, you're more closer to your goals than if you don't start at all. With the patience, it'll help you stay consistent. Say, for instance, you're not being patient. Say, for instance, you wanted to lose a certain amount of weight in 3 weeks, and 3 weeks come and you're still the same weight, or you might have lost only like 2 pounds or something. You're not even recognizing the progress, right? how far you've come in those 3 weeks. You're not even showing yourself that much respect. Like, wow, I just went in, I just grind so hard in the gym. I've been eating healthy. If you're not being patient, it's the easiest thing to do is to give up. Number 4, accountability. You gotta take accountability. When you can tell yourself, all right, now you've been slacking. Like I've told myself those last 2 weeks, I was like, honestly, the fact that I had to go to the gym for 4 days out of the week, and that was the minimum, and I sat there and I went 3 times, that could have been 4. You could have just went and walked on the treadmill for 30 minutes. That would have been 4 days. Am I right? So I had to take accountability and tell myself, like, do you want this?
I think she brings up a really good point there. A lot of times when we start a weight routine at the gym, we make a commitment to ourselves. Hey, I'm going to go 4 days a week religiously for the rest of my life. But every day that you take off from the gym, it's really easy to extend that wait period until you go back to the gym. So whenever you do, make yourself a commitment that you're going to stick to it, because it's super duper important when it comes to going to the gym.
Do you want this as bad as you think you want this? What's your reason for doing this? I have to ask myself my why. Like, why are you trying to lose weight, Britt? Why are you trying to lose weight? If you're not taking accountability, you're not gonna achieve anything. I promise you that. This goes into number 5. It kind of goes hand in hand, which is to have grace for yourself. Give yourself grace. Calm down. Don't be so mean to yourself, because this is also, like I said, a mental lifestyle change. You know what I'm saying? You still need to be kind to yourself. You still need to understand that you're human and that you're going to make mistakes. We are in this situation because we overindulge. We're not moving. You know the reason why you are at the biggest weight that you are. When you find yourself falling into those old habits again, number 1, take accountability, recognize it, tell yourself exactly what you're doing. Then ask yourself, what is your why? What is the reason that you're trying to lose the weight? And then give yourself grace. We still deep down in the core have these habits of loving food and wanting to eat. It's still in me. I'm still fighting that demon. If I slip and I'm like, man, listen, I'm gonna go get this milkshake, I'm gonna give myself grace, number 1. But if I find myself really falling off track, now I gotta take accountability.
I love everything she's saying, but there's one thing that scares me. It sounds to me like she's used to skipping out on the gym, and it also sounds to me like she's used to breaking her diet. And then the good thing is she forgives herself, and I agree with all those things. You're gonna miss time at the gym, more than likely. You're gonna mess up on your diet, more than likely. You're gonna end up having situations where you feel like you're restarting, even though you don't want to be restarting, right? I think it's important to start baby steps, but I think before we run to the gym, we should learn how to walk. So go get your socks and shoes on.
Now that we've reached the end of this video, I do have some questions that I want you guys to ask yourself. So if you made it this far, make sure you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel so that you can follow me on my journey. And I want you guys to respond to me in the comments. The questions that I have for you: what thoughts are you having about yourself? Think about how you view yourself. Think about the things that you say to yourself in your mind. Are you being positive? Are you being negative? Stop telling yourself that you can't, because it's not helping you get to where you need to go. There's a word that's been going around, is delusional. In order to get to having that positive mindset and to telling yourself, you know, that you are great, you can lose the weight, you may have to be a little delusional. Pretend that you are that person so you show up as that person. Once you're there, once you're like, okay, yeah, I'm that girl, you don't gotta be delusional anymore, baby. You ain't delusional. You really that. You really are exactly who you say you are.
I like it. I like to refer to that as fake it till you make it. Oh, that's a good saying. I should trademark that. All right, I'm a little late on that one. Listen, I think we can do a lot of miracles together as a team. I think you should get your shoes. Let's go for a walk.
morning, Venters. Question: do you believe in fate? And do things happen for a reason? And if things happen for a reason, is there a chance everything happens for a reason? Donna Osborne, a great-grandmother in Pennsylvania, had recently beaten cancer. She and her daughter decide that they want to take a trip to Florida. So they go to the airport, and for some reason the flight gets canceled, or delayed, excuse me. As a matter of fact, it got delayed not once, but so many times that Donna Osborne actually decided to leave her daughter there at the airport to take the trip alone, and she decided just to go on back home. So on her way home, she stops at a speedway, purchases a lottery ticket, scratches that bad boy off, and ends up winning $5 million. She calls her daughter, tells her daughter the good news. Her daughter thinks that her mom's full of it and just joking with her, pulling her leg, right? But alas, it was true, guys. She wins $5 million. She's a 75-year-old great-grandmother, Donna Osborne is. And she actually serves as a driver for Amish people in Pennsylvania where she lives. And her number one goal is to take that money and take a trip to Alaska. But here's the question I have for you. Was she fated to win that lottery ticket? Did fate play a hand in that? Was there a reason that her plane with her daughter on the trip they were taking, is there a reason why that was delayed so many times that it actually made her want to change her plans and not go on that flight, right? So now you've got this 75-year-old woman. She wins this lottery, and instead of retiring, she decides, hey, I still want to give Amish people rides. So she's still working. She's just $5 million richer in the bank account, right? So I thought that was a fascinating story. But why do I mention it besides the fact that it's a nice story? Well, fate has a way of bringing us to different places in life, right? For some people, every single decision that you make, well, actually for everybody, every single decision you make leads you down a certain path. So when you're at the corner at the stop sign, right? And you decide that you're going to go east instead of west, and you decide you're going to go north instead of south, you're literally changing your future drastically with every single decision you make. Even me, I decided to go this way today, but you know, sometimes I go that way, right? Every single decision you make leads you down a different path. Are those decisions made by you, or are they out of your hands and they're designed, you know, they're this part of this grand design that we're in? Who knows, right? I like to think that it's part of a grand design, right? That it's meant to be. Which leads me to my next question. Why are you a venter? Why are you here? What caused you to pick up your phone that day and scroll over a video of Walk, Talk, Vent? What caused you to listen to my words and decide to put on your shoes one day and start a walking routine? Did old Jesse and Walk, Talk, Vent change your future? And if I do change your future for the better, hopefully, right? Was it something that fate intervened and wanted it to happen? Now, of course, there's a lot of people that say, no, these things are all just coincidences. They're all just part of life. They're all just the way it is. Nothing more, nothing less, right? And if you feel that way, there's nothing wrong with it. But what if everything does have a little bit of divine intervention, you know? What if everything that's about to happen has already happened in the grand cosmic scheme of things, and it's nothing more than a movie that we're just kind of moving through where everything's already been decided? If so, it would lead me to believe that we stress a little too much. Because if the future's already decided, you know, then there's not much we can do about it but enjoy the movie, right? So whether or not it was meant to be that you're on a walk today, right? Whether it was the grand scheme of the universe, or whether it was just no big deal and it just what happens, right? Either way, you are in control of what happens from here on out. Either way, you and I can decide that, you know what? We're going to take this walking thing and we're going to run with it. We're going to change our lives with it. I'm hoping that in 5, 10, 15 years, you can look back and you can say, you know what? The last 5, 10, 15 years have been the healthiest of my life. And I'd like to think that it's because you started a walking routine, you know? So again, you know, if you're new to us, today is about day 22. I asked you guys to give me, I don't know if it's day 22 or day 24. I just woke up, right? But either way, we're into our 4th week. We're past week 3, okay? Your body is probably used to walking now. So now the big question is, do you keep putting one foot in front of the other and walking? Or do you call it quits like you do with all other diet and exercise plans? You know? This diet and exercise plan that we're on here is so much more doable, you know? Most people out there might like the taste of coffee. They might like the taste of tea or soda or juice. But I don't think anybody out there hates the taste of water, right? So by drinking more water and eliminating those juices and those sodas, we know that we're putting ourselves on a track to have a better future, right? By walking every single day, we know that we're putting ourselves on a path to a better future. And by trying to eliminate sugar, we know ultimately that we're putting ourselves on a path for better health and probably better teeth, right? If you're in your 40s like me, believe me, you'd like to ideally keep all your teeth as long as you can. And if avoiding sugar and eating better and being more healthy helps you do that, then great, you know? If you tell yourself, hey, Jesse, I haven't brushed my teeth in a month because I gave up sugar, you know, that's probably not the right plan, Bob. Go into your bathroom, put some close-up on your toothbrush and brush those teeth, right? You want to make sure you keep those teeth as long as you possibly can. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do things happen for a reason? Is there a reason that all birds flock together? Is Walk Talk Vent nothing but another flock of birds, right? Were we all fated and meant to come together like this? Or is it just one of those channels on the TV that we happen to be on right now, right? Because that's all life is. It's just a channel on the TV that you happen to be watching. Very, very interesting. What do you think of the 75-year-old great-grandmother Donna Osborne winning that lottery ticket? The positive side of me says that is a wonderful story. I love it. And I also love that she's decided not to just quit her job as a taxi service to the Amish. I don't know if she's an Uber driver or if it's part of a church-related program or what. But either way, she gives a ride to Amish people in the part of Pennsylvania that she lives in. But the negative side of me says, golly, it would have been better if her daughter would have won, right? But the reality is, when Donna Osborne leaves this planet, that money's going to probably find its way to her daughter anyway. So today feels about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than it did yesterday. I was able to get out of my house a minute or two early. Gosh, guys, you know, Brett, who I saw this morning and I waved to him, I didn't talk to him. He's one of the characters in the game of my life, right? Same with Mrs. Overton. Same with Pretty Girl, the dog. But I see this woman every single day walking. I feel like she should be a venter. Maybe I should tell her to join us. Maybe I should tell her that my viewers want her to have a good walk. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? She's walking up to me now. I'll tell her my viewers want her to keep walking. Okay, I chickened out. But the reason I chickened out is because she had headphones on. And I didn't want to call her name and then her not respond, and then it'd be kind of embarrassing. So maybe tomorrow. Sometimes life is like that. We just had a butterfly effect there. If I stop that lady and meet her and tell her, hey, my fans want to wish you good luck on your walk and want you to continue, you know, maybe it's a weird moment, but at the same time, maybe a friendship is sparked up. But you know what? I have the confidence to know that we'll be able to do it in the days coming up, because it looks like she's starting a walking routine. So good for her. Good for her. Yeah, your boy got cold feet there. I was going to talk to her. I had resolved the last couple of days to maybe talk with her, but at the same time, no big deal. We'll talk to her in the future. One day. I remember when I was younger, before all this online dating, you would go into the mall, or maybe you'd go into a bookstore, or you'd go into Target or even Walmart for that matter, and you'd see a good-looking person, in my case, a good-looking girl, right? And you'd want to talk with her, and then sometimes right before you were going to get the courage to talk to her, you'd chicken out, right? And that wasn't the scenario there. I'm not looking for a date or anything with her, right? But sometimes you get the urge to talk to people, and sometimes you don't. And back in the day, you guys know this, before we had all this online stuff, a guy had to actually get the courage to talk to a girl. And every once in a blue moon, you would have a girl that would come up and, hey, do you have a girlfriend? So occasionally the girls had to have a little courage too, right? Nowadays, whether you win or lose the date, when you ask somebody if they want to go out and it's just on an online app, it kind of takes away the bravery aspect, right? If somebody says no, you're like, yeah, whatever. Swipe left, swipe right, whatever the case might be, right? But I definitely think that she's a potential venter. Wouldn't that be cool if one day we could get all these people to be venters, and all of a sudden they're all talking and chatting with us? By the way, Rochelle has become my first venter to join the Facebook group, and I would absolutely love it if we could all join the Facebook group together. So if you guys do go to Walk Talk Vent on Facebook and join, there's one question that you have to answer when you're there. It's simply, what is are you a venter, and what is a venter? And the right answer is simply, a venter is somebody that is subscribed to Walk Talk Vent, and yes, I'm a venter. That's the only question you have to answer, and we'll let you in. And the only rule that I have is obviously try to be kind to others, so no arguing, and I mean, you can disagree and have debate, but no hardcore arguing. And then try not to be on there selling a bunch of stuff, because I don't know about you, but that's kind of one of the bummer things about Facebook is when you join groups, before you know it, the group is selling everything and anything they can. And I don't really want it to be that type of group. I want it to be a legitimate group where we can chat with each other without necessarily having it to be on a comment section of a YouTube video. I'm a firm believer in fate myself. I like to feel like there's some sort of purpose, there's some sort of reason why we choose the path we do at every single fork in the road, you know? I'd like to think that there's some sort of cosmic reason why my phone rings 30,000 times a day with telemarketers from Pakistan and India. By the way, I went to Fiverr.com and I asked Leo from Fiverr if he could create me a new banner for my YouTube page and a new logo. So I'll be hopefully getting that from him here in the next day or two, and hopefully putting it up, and hopefully it's a step up over the banner and logo that I have now. My logo that I have now literally just says Walk Talk Vent, and it shows a picture of my legs, right? So not necessarily the best logo. And then my banner is just like a pink meets purple background. It's a picture of my mug, and you know, it just says new videos uploaded daily. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not, or agree with this statement or not, but one of the things that I'm really proud of, and I realize it's quite an accomplishment, is that I'm able to upload a video every single day. I think you guys know deep down in your heart, based on other YouTubers, how challenging that is. And to know that I've done this over 100 times in a row now, that's something I'm kind of impressed with. You know, a lot of times we look at daunting new challenges, and a lot of times we psych ourselves out. But for some reason, I just knew I had an advantage with this channel because of the fact that I walk every day regardless. So now you guys get to kind of see a little piece of my real life. This is what your boy's been doing for the last couple decades. I'm a firm believer that everything I tell you guys is true. I think that the key to walking is just making it a part of your life. So even though I like to joke and I like to say, hey, we need to get you addicted to walking, what it really is just a little game that every human brain plays. And it's called routine and habit. And some people have a routine and habit of smoking a cigarette and going to the bathroom every day, right? That's their routine and habit, their early morning cigarette while they're taking a dump. Well, that's not really the thing I do. I get up and I take a walk. Some people's daily habit is going to Starbucks every morning and picking themselves up a coffee. Well, for me, it's putting my shoes on and going on a daily walk. So in the past, I was so skinny, I was able to eat relatively what I wanted because I always observed the 2/3 rule. So even if I was eating something sweet, I would usually take a walk, usually drink water, right? But I'm human. I tell you, hey, every now and then things would sneak into my life, like a donut or a piece of carrot cake or a soda, right? But at the same time, you know, even the way I handle soda, I mean, there's a lot of people that if I told them, okay, you're going to go from drinking 4 cans of soda a day to 4 or 5 cans of soda a year, a lot of you guys would kind of look at that and say, that's impossible. I can't do that. But that's something your boy does all the time. Now, one of the things that I don't do is drink coffee, but it's not because I quit coffee. So if you're ever quitting coffee, that's impressive, good for you. I never had to quit coffee. The very first time I tasted it, I was just grossed out. I was told that it was made from beans. So my idea of beans was refried pinto beans, and I just didn't like the idea of drinking coffee. As I've gotten older, I realized that there are different types of beans, and they're very popular and they're very flavorful and people love it. But again, I just told myself when I was younger that it was bean juice, and I never liked it, although I love beans. God, you can give me a refried bean burrito and I'm all happy, you know? By the way, where you live, do you ever get to try Mexican food? Here in Arizona, we have a lot of Mexican food restaurants. If you live in other parts of the country, you having Mexican food might be once in a blue moon. And some people say, well, I've never had Mexican food, but we've got a Taco Bell out here, you know? And my thinking is, you know what? Taco Bell still has good bean burritos and they have good Meximelts and stuff. If that's your only access to Mexican food, then, you know, it's better than nothing. It's not quite authentic. It's not quite the good stuff, but I would probably list Taco Bell as one of my favorite fast food restaurants, you know? If you guys are consistently eating fast food, let me know down in the comments if you're trying to wean yourself off, if you're trying to eat the Whopper but not buy the fries and the soda. Are you actually taking a bottle of water to work, and are you sucking on water throughout the day? Or, you know, let me know if you're still struggling with soda. Let me know if you're struggling with these things. If any of you guys are on day 60, you know, it is a 90-day challenge. You've got one month left. This might be the month where to take it up that extra step and lose that extra bit of weight, you know, to hit your goal. You might want to implement a 7:30 rule. What's that again, Jesse? That's where at night, after you eat your final meal, you cut yourself off so you don't have that late night snack. Well, Jesse, I don't think restriction is too good. Well, keep in mind, you ate your dinner. You could have even put in a little bit of a snack there, as long as you get it all in by 7:30 and then call it done. Here's the main thing though. Whenever you start a new routine, it takes time to set it in stone. So just know that if it's 10, 11 at night and all of a sudden you look and you've got potato chips piling into your mouth, don't feel guilty. Don't throw your hands up in the air and just quit. Just go right back to doing it the next day. Because you know what the truth is? If you have a midnight snack every single day, and we can get it to the point where you have a midnight snack every other day or every third night, right? That's going to have a good positive multiplicative effect. So stay positive. Whenever you fall off, whenever you have a piece of carrot cake like Jesse, or whenever you have some oatmeal cookies, or this, that, and the other, in the past, you would just throw your hands up in the air and eat the whole sleeve of cookies. Now what you want to do is you want to catch yourself. And every now and then we forget to do that. So again, if you fall off, we don't have any guilt here. Just take an extra walk. If you are on day 22 and you've decided that, you know what, Jesse, I've been walking for 3 weeks in a row now. I do enjoy it. I'm going to continue. We're going to move forward. Then what I want to introduce you to is Kaizen. We're going to do some baby steps. The best thing that you can do, you're already walking for half an hour a day with us. The best thing you can do is at your lunch break, start taking a little 10 or 15 minute walk. If your boss gives you a half hour, go to pick up your Whopper. Don't eat the fries, don't eat the soda, right? Just eat the sandwich. And then when you're done and you have 15 minutes before you clock back in, go around the building, take a quick little 15-minute walk. And guess what happens? You're going to be canceling out that lunch. So that lunch that you used to get with your Big Mac, your fries, and your large sweet tea, now you're having a bottle of water, you're having your sandwich still, but you're no longer having those fries. So you're eating a lot less calories. You're going to be saving money because the sandwich is $5 or $6, whereas the meal is 13 or 14. And by the way, when you break it down like that, it makes it easier for you to buy just the sandwich, because you start telling yourself, why the hell am I paying $7 a day for French fries and a drink? That's the price of a meal. So just get the sandwich. And all of a sudden, the calorie impact is half of what it would be, maybe even less. And then you combine that with the fact that instead of spending 13 or 14 bucks for your meal, you're only spending 6 or 7. Guys, your boy Jesse just saved you 40 bucks a week that way. Put that $40 in your gas, and all of a sudden you've got a couple of dollars left over. Throw that in your savings account. It's not huge money, but you know what? If you throw a couple bucks each month into your savings account, then when things like birthdays and Christmas pop up, you don't have to put people's gifts on a credit card. You know, you can start to actually use some money that you've saved up for such an occasion. You know, I've met women, not men, but women through the years that buy Christmas gifts all throughout the year. Whenever they see something neat and it's on sale, they ask themselves, is this something I could buy for my kids, for my grandkids, for my husband, for my wife, for my friends, right? And some of you probably do that too. Heck, I've met people that go out to stores after Halloween and they buy Halloween decorations because that's when they go drastically on sale, right? Me, myself, I will go down to a mall after winter to buy coats. Why? Well, because your $100 coats that you can never afford are all of a sudden 35 or 40 bucks simply because it's no longer the cold season, right? And so what I do is I go to a nice store in the mall like Dillard's and I buy a $100 or $200 jacket for 40 or 50 bucks. The key is just to buy it during the hot parts of the year when it's not in season. You pick up these tricks as you get a little older, right? You guys remember that show, the coupon show, where people would have thousands of dollars worth of products in their garage, and the reason they did that is because they were coupon clippers? I've never been a coupon clipper, but maybe you have. You know, those are things that feel really rewarding, right? All of a sudden you've got all this food or all this toothpaste or all this laundry detergent. And I remember those clippers, those coupon clippers, would do it in a really weird way where somehow they made money on top of it. And I always thought that was a fascinating show. But it must be a pain in the butt, because I don't know too many clippers that are constantly clipping coupon after coupon. But when that show was on about 10, 15 years ago, it was pretty popular. Did any of you guys watch that show? And did any of you guys ever try couponing? And those were extreme coupon clippers, right? I always thought it was weird that they would buy 38 bottles of cleaner. But you know what they were able to do? A lot of them were able to take that excess cleaner and excess toothpaste and excess this, that, and the other. And a lot of times they were able to donate that to churches and charities that were, you know, where they lived. So again, if you can have a fun hobby and do something positive with it, why not do it? So when you do the walk, talk, vent protocol, you're going to be saving money because you're not going to be buying as much junk food. You're going to be saving money because you're not going to be buying as much fast food. But the only way this happens is if you implement some of these tips. I'm telling you guys, imagine if your whole last year, a year in which you guys go out at lunchtime at work every single day, you know, what if you would have drinking water instead of soda this past year? What if you would have ditched the French fries and just bought the sandwich? I mean, there's a chance you could have an extra $1,000 in your pocket, and there's a chance you could have an extra 10 pounds off of your body, just like that. I'm telling you, there's something really fantastic about our game plan. It absolutely works. And here's the crazy thing. I don't like to say it works for everybody because I know there's no such thing as 100%, right? But I just have a hard time believing that if you're copying what most of us are doing, which is walking daily, drinking water, and avoiding sugar, I have a real hard time believing that nothing positive is going to happen of that. I think you're going to start losing weight like crazy. So again, if you're on week 3 and you're deciding that, yeah, this walking thing is part of my routine, Jesse was right, I actually like it. Let's apply some baby steps now, okay? Let's go ahead and let's add an extra 15 minutes at lunch, right? And let's go ahead, and if you've cut down from 6 sodas to maybe 3 or 4, let's take that natural next baby step. And let's cut that 3 or 4 sodas a day down to 1 soda that you have with your dinner. And all right, so I had to replace the battery, but I didn't bring a battery, so I just kind of waited an extra couple minutes till everything cooled down. So let's see if this works. So anyway, another advantage if you're able to add the 15-minute walk during your lunch is every once in a blue moon, you're going to wake up and you're just not going to feel too good. And then as work comes around, you're going to actually feel better and you're going to decide to go to work, right? But what happened? Well, you just cashed in your morning walk that you would normally take, right? So you ditched your morning walk. Well, what do? Do we just call it a day off? You could, but my thinking is now that you've been walking for 2 or 3 weeks in a row, why don't you add this 15-minute walk to your lunch? Because that way, if you ever miss your morning walk, guess what? You're still walking at lunch, so you haven't missed out on anything. And remember, even if you do miss out on your walk, if you still drink water and still avoid sugar, it's a victory for the day. You've abided by the 2/3 rule. If you haven't cut off sugar at all, and all of a sudden you ditch your walk, and all of a sudden you're just drinking a little water through the day, well, guess what? That's not going to help you with anything other than staying hydrated, okay? So you have to start having a plan B. A good plan B would be, hey, I'm going to make a promise to myself. If I miss my morning walk, I'm going to walk at lunch, but on top of walking at lunch, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a walk when I get home, okay? And again, if you're on day 60 or 70, Start adding an afternoon walk on the way, once you're home. Well, Jesse, you said we didn't have to, keep adding on. You don't have to keep adding on if you don't have any goals within the 90-day challenge, right? You just want to walk, that's fine. But if your goal is to lose a certain amount of weight during the 90-day challenge, you want to apply Kaizen, you want to apply baby steps, so you don't have to add a second walk for the rest of your life. But if you can add that evening and that lunchtime walk during your final month of your 90-day challenge, guess what? That's going to be an extra 150 calories that you kill every single night, okay? So again, if you take your half-hour walk every morning times 7 mornings a week, that's going to eliminate 1,000 calories a week from your body. That's huge, okay? But now if you also add 5 15-minute walks during your lunch, Monday through Friday, well, guys, that's going to kill another handful of calories. And if you end up walking in the evening during this last month of your challenge, well, guess what? You're going to kill another 1,000 calories a month, or a week, excuse me. And when you start killing thousands of calories a week, which is 4,000 or 5,000 calories a month, that's how you start to make headway that last month. Keep baby stepping your way up on the positives, like walking further, and keep baby stepping your way down on the negatives. So before my battery went out, if you're down from 6 sodas a day down to 4, now is the time to take another baby step. Let's cut that 4 sodas a day down to 2, okay? And because you are drinking soda every day, it's very important that you try to cut out the other sweets like the donuts and the candy bars, okay? It's very important that you continue to walk. Because if you have this lackadaisical, I'm gonna walk every other day and I'm gonna eat donuts all the time, and then you step on the scale and you think, I haven't lost anything, this plan doesn't work. Is it the plan that's not working? Or is it you not trying to baby step upward on the positives and downward on the negatives? You have to be willing to put some actions in. You've prayed for something to come along. God has brought you a walking routine, okay? But God meets people halfway. He can lead you to water, but you have to drink. He can lead you to a walking routine, but you have to meet him halfway by actually walking. And even if you're an atheist, I think you can appreciate that. Talk is cheap. You need to put some actions behind it, okay? Money walks and bullshit talks, right? That's from Twins, another great movie. Anyway, I want you guys to have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.